Sir, the pandemonium is continuing in the parliament regarding this Rafale deal. The slogans "Chaukidar Chor hai" reverberating in both the houses. Sir, this omission of anti-corruption clauses, it's a new revelation in the Rafale deal. Can you throw some light on this?
Yeah, in fact, the Hindu has been publishing series of investigative stories on the Rafale deal. So the latest is the omission of anti-corruption clause in the supply protocol. To understand this in perspective, the earlier story, we should go back to the earlier story also. In the earlier story, the Hindu published the file notings by the defense officials, the Ministry of Defense, Deputy Secretary to Joint Secretary level officials, Secretary level officials, which makes a clear allegation that the Prime Minister's office was conducting parallel negotiations which are detrimental to the Indian interest and which are undermining the position taken by the Indian negotiating team. So they are given even specific instances where sovereign guarantee was insisted by the Indian negotiation team, and the instance of the Prime Minister's office, that sovereign guarantee has been dropped in the final outcome. Similarly, there was also an insistence on bank guarantee, at least if there is no sovereign guarantee, but the Prime Minister's office intervened and even got it dropped also. Now the latest revelation is that anti-corruption clause is also dropped. What do you mean by anti-corruption clause? Rafale deal is an intergovernmental agreement. To begin with, India and France entered into an agreement. We call it an IGA, intergovernmental agreement. When India agrees with the government of France for supply of fighter aircrafts, in turn the French government handed over the supplies to two companies. One is the Dassault and second is the MBDA. So Dassault supplies fighter aircrafts and MBDA supplies weapon systems in that. So these two companies have entered into supply protocols with India as a part of the continuation to the intergovernmental agreement. So when we enter into supply protocols, normally the defense procurement procedure adopted by the government of India very clearly states that there is an anti-corruption clause. So any procurement which India makes, especially with reference to the defense deals, we call it defense procurement procedures, DPP. In the DPP, there is a clause which says that if the company from which we are buying aircrafts or any other defense equipment indulges in any corrupt practices like involvement of middlemen or agents or agencies or exerting undue pressure, so they are liable to pay the penalty. So this is a penal provision to prevent corruption in the defense deals. Because the moment this clause is there, the Dassault company officials will be scared of indulging in any kind of backdoor activity to influence the Indian government officials. So the Indian negotiating team of the Ministry of Defense were insisting on this anti-corruption clause. This is a part of the defense procurement procedure. Yeah. But this is ultimately dropped. Well, Manohar Parrikar led Defense Acquisition Council itself ratified this dropping of the anti-corruption clause. So, but this is very clearly related to the Prime Minister's office holding parallel negotiations. So, therefore, it reveals, the latest revelation reveals that the PMO intervened to benefit Dassault company against the interest of our own country. And Manohar Parrikar, the defense minister, is also an accomplice in this whole exercise. So, he is allegedly an accomplice in this whole exercise because the Defense Acquisition Council has also ratified the dropping of the anti-corruption clause. So, this is the first point. Second is the financial advisor to the defense ministry said there is no sovereign guarantee, there is no bank guarantee. So, at least you have an escrow account, make the payment through escrow account. What do you mean by escrow account is, when we enter into an agreement or supply protocol with a foreign supplier, we have to pay thousands of crores in advance. This is not a small deal. So, it runs into thousands of crores. When we pay thousands of crores in advances, assuming that something happens to the Dassault company. Suddenly that company gets insolvent. Suddenly that company goes financially bankrupt. Our money will be losing thousands of crores. Or we are not only losing the thousands of crores, we will be losing on a strategic terms also. Because we have to again enter into an agreement and make the procurement. So it's a huge loss. So in such a situation, the sovereign guarantee helps us. What do you mean by sovereign guarantee? The government of France will give the sovereign guarantee because it is an intergovernmental agreement.
Yeah.
So the commercial supplier may be supplying, but it is an intergovernmental agreement. So in case of any loss to India, the French government has to compensate. That's called sovereign guarantee. So the Prime Minister's office held parallel negotiation, adopted. Then the bank guarantee. Normally, if the government is not involved, sovereign guarantee will not come. When it is only a purely commercial deal. Though in this Rafale agreement, Dassault and MBDA are commercial players, but they are not supplying directly to us. It's a part of an intergovernmental agreement with the government of France. So the commercial, if it is purely commercial deal, there will be a bank guarantee at least. So that in case if there is any problem, the bank will pay. So the financial advisor to the defense ministry said, when in the absence of a sovereign guarantee, in the absence of a bank guarantee, at least make the payments through escrow account supervised and monitored by the government of France. What does the escrow account mean is, there will be, this is a special bank account, which is something like if you and me enter into a challenge. So we keep the money with the third person. So with the camera person will be our mediator. So you keep money, I keep money there. Whoever wins, the third person will pay us. So similarly, we keep the money in the escrow account, and in the moment the supplies are done, automatically the escrow account releases the money into the commercial supplier. So the French government manages this escrow account, so that we will not be at loss. By any reason, if the Dassault company fails to supply, our money will come back to us from the escrow account. If we directly pay into the Dassault account, ho gaya kahani. So by any reason, if the company goes bankrupt, we don't get money. So to keep our money safe, we make the payment, but that money is not directly credited into Dassault account. It is credited into some other account called escrow account. So escrow account keeps the money in between. So we will pay, they will not get it. So based on the supply, the money will be released. So this is an escrow account. It is another safety regulation. So the ultimately even that escrow account suggestion is also given up. So again, Dassault company got benefit. So Dassault company got benefit by waiving the sovereign guarantee, by waiving the bank guarantee, by dropping the penal provisions, anti-corruption penalty provisions, and also by omitting the suggestion for payments through an escrow account. Already explained arbitration also. Indian government negotiating team, Ministry of Defense appointed negotiating team was insisting that arbitration should be in Delhi, not in Paris or Geneva. Or what do you mean by arbitration? If there is any breach of contract, it goes to arbitration. So if the arbitration is in Paris or Geneva, we will be at loss, because that will be a costly arbitration process. So we wanted, Indian negotiating team wanted the arbitration proceeding should be in Delhi. But again, Prime Minister's office intervened to drop this also. So ultimately, all these are detrimental to our interest. The word detrimental, which means harmful to our interest. It is not the word which I have used. It is the word used by the Mohan Kumar, Defense Secretary, in his file notings to the Raksha Mantri. So very clearly in his file notings he used the word detrimental. How is it detrimental? All protections we have given up. Why was it given up? Then the question comes, why was Prime Minister's office intervening, conducting parallel negotiation to give up all this in favor of Dassault company? Because Dassault company was also doing a favor to the Prime Minister's office. The favor was the government of India, Prime Minister's office insisted that Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, which is an offset partner, which is an Indian partner, was replaced by Anil Ambani company. So Anil Ambani company has no experience. It is in a financially bankrupt position. The creditors are selling their mortgage shares. So it's a completely even Anil Ambani company's executives were accused in the 2G spectrum scam. So they were owing huge non-performing assets to the banks in any way, and it doesn't have a manufacturing capacity at all. Anil Ambani company has not even manufactured detergent soaps. Forget about the warplanes and fighter aircraft. So this Anil Ambani company was thrust upon by the government of India. This is not again my statement. President Holland, who announced the deal along with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, made this. We had no option. It was the Indian government suggestion, and we had to accept. We had no option.
Yeah.
So because our Prime Minister's office conducted parallel negotiations and insisted on replacing Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, a premier public sector company, by Anil Ambani company. Obviously, Dassault has asked for certain things in return. And as a part of that return offer, it appears that Dassault was waived off all these things: no sovereign guarantee, no bank guarantee, no payments to escrow account, making payment directly into Dassault's account, no access to the Dassault's account books also, and anti-corruption clauses were dropped. The arbitration procedure was changed to suit the interest of Dassault. So the nation's interests are sacrificed to benefit Anil Ambani. That is the crux of the new revelations, which clearly point fingers to the Chowkidar. This is the reason why Chowkidar Chor Hai slogans are reverberating in Parliament. They are not without any reason. There is the development that have taken place and the new revelations in the Rafale deal clearly point fingers at the Prime Minister's office. Of course, the Raksha Mantri may be part of it as he had no other option because he had to listen to the Prime Minister.
Sir, how will BJP defend this, sir?
But it is extremely difficult. BJP defends on a very flimsy grounds. It says parallel negotiations are for monitoring purpose to expedite the deal. But how can it be monitoring? Is this monitoring? Because Prime Minister's office was taking a totally contrarian position. A position contrary to to something taken by the Indian negotiating team.
Yeah.
So how can it be monitoring? Monitoring essentially means you ensure that the position taken by Indian negotiation team is accepted and expedited. So that is not the position. Prime Minister's office was taking completely contrary position. It is again not my allegation. It is the file notings of the defense officials. So obviously they have nothing to defend. The second argument is they will be defending on the ground that the Congress party has delayed the deal for kickbacks, but these are all unsubstantiated. If somebody delays for kickbacks, okay, take action on them. But the point is, the issue is not on why this particular Rafale deal could not be executed in the past. The issue today is why was it executed with Anil Ambani, and why was Dassault company given so much benefits? That is the question. Nobody is questioning the competence of the Rafale. Otherwise, they will simply defend in the name of national security. Prime Minister wanted aircrafts urgently. Well, obviously, nobody is asking you to give up the aircraft. Nobody is questioning the technical competence of the Rafale. The issue is not on the technical level. Nobody questioned even technical competence of the Bofors gun also.
Yeah.
The issue is not on the technical competence of the equipment or fighter aircraft which we are buying. The question is the monetary aspects, the higher price which we are paying, absence of transfer of technology, the TOT clause was dropped. So absence of the replacement of the offset partner, Anil Ambani came into the picture in the place of HAL. These are the issues which people are questioning. People are not questioning the technical competence. People are not questioning the necessity of fighter aircraft of the Indian Air Force. Nobody is telling Modi should not buy the aircraft.
Right.
We want Modi to buy the aircraft. But we cannot sacrifice national interest for the sake of benefiting one person called Anil Ambani.